Hello, and welcome to Appleton Engaged. I'm your host, Timber Smith, Special Assistant to the Mayor for Community, Culture, and Belonging.
And I'm Andy Anam, the Communications Director for the city.
And Appleton Engaged is a podcast that explores the many people, organizations, and resources that make our community a great place to live, work, and play. So whether you're a longtime resident or just getting to know Appleton, join us as we learn more about our community together.
Today's conversation is all about care, connection, and community support.
Yes, it is. And I think we're going to have a lot to learn in this particular conversation, and I'm really looking forward to it. This week's guest is Lois Krull, Director of Living Spirit Dementia Respite Center. Hey, Lois, how are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for spending some time here on Appleton Engaged. Could you please tell us a little something about yourself and your association with Appleton and the Fox Cities region?
Well, originally I was raised in a small town north of Appleton and went to school there, became a nurse, and went on to work in a cardiac unit, gerontology, insurance. Then I retired, and I flunked retirement. And then I went back to home care and eventually to dementia care.
I love how you said you flunked retirement.
I did, and it only took me 3 years.
Only 3 years, huh? I think there's a lot of people walking around here who don't do well with retirement.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of active individuals in their retirement walking around Appleton here. Well, Lois, can you please tell us a little something about your resource?
Our resource is called the Living Spirit Dementia Respite Center. We are located in the lower level of the First English Lutheran Church by City Park, and we offer care to individuals with dementia that allows their care partners to have free time to do whatever it is they need to do. Sometimes it's as simple as taking a nap. Other times it's doctor's appointments. There's an ongoing 24/7 when you're taking care of a person with dementia. And the caregivers need a respite. There's where the respite comes in. Because respite is a place where individuals can come and share fellowships. We reach a community of people with dementia who have been isolated. They're losing their identity and they need connection. We do it through projects, lessons, and games, and they are all run by volunteers. The real joy comes from the beauty of our relationships, the give and take of being needed and valued by another in our everyday lives. Many of our participants are retired professionals who have volunteered themselves through the years. We lead with the belief that the person is still whole, and we must find a way to help them recognize that in themselves. In fact, now we have an engineer, we've had professors, we've had early onset Alzheimer people, we've had people who are continually going downhill. Dementia is a disease that deteriorates, but it all depends on the rate. We've had a couple people with us who've been with us for a year and a half, as long as we've been open. But then we had one gentleman who came, and he was with us just a very short time before he passed. Our main purpose is to give rest to the caregiver, because caring for someone with dementia is like sleeping with one eye open. It's stress and wondering, are they okay? Where are they? How do I help them? And they are in their own little world, and the caregiver has to adjust, and that is really difficult. At times, they need rest. They need time to recharge and just get away from things. We primarily serve Alzheimer's and dementia patients, both early onset. We've had people as young as 55, and that was heartbreaking because she was an artist. And when she started with us, oh, could she paint? She was so good. And by the time she left our group, she could not hold a paintbrush anymore. So that is how we live with them in their world while they're there.
So this sounds as if this is kind of like a support group for those caregivers. Is that how it is?
Yes, you could say that. We are support for them, but also the person with dementia, we keep them occupied. We do, let me find my paper here. We do music every one of the sessions. If you'd be surprised, the dementia people love music. It brings back, we had one lady who could sing every Beatles song there was. She just did well. And we have a wonderful arts and craft person. Her name is Robin, and she's an occupational therapist. Or she's retired. And she comes up with something different every single day. And they're always fun. We laugh a lot. The service projects we do are, we recently just filled 50 or 60 school bags for the Appleton School District for the kids who do not have the proper school items to start with. We fill those. We've also done hygiene kits for the schools because sometimes they do not have access to hygiene. And we do games. Our friends love balloon volleyball. It is so much fun, and do they get competitive? Really, that does not go away either. And for memory work, we do puzzles, and we do yoga every time, chair yoga. So everybody has to stretch, and you do what feels comfortable, and if it starts to hurt, you stop.
Is there a cost?
Yes, we do charge $40 a day, and that's for 4 hours from 10 until 2, and that includes a hot lunch. We give them a hot lunch. Our ladies from the church at First English are terrific cooks. They really are. And we are also grant funded. Nobody is turned away for inability to pay. We have one gentleman now who is on grants, and we turn no one away. That's bottom line.
So, Lois, I want to take a little bit back. A lot of people know about Alzheimer and dementia, but at a very high level, can you just explain what exactly these two conditions are?
To explain them fully, I would have to be a medical doctor. That's hard to do. There are many signs and symptoms. Let's say you forget your keys. Where did I put my keys? That's aging. If you find them in the freezer, well, maybe then you should look further. But Alzheimer's, the brain has 4 different types of dementia, and it all depends on where your brain is shrinking. There's frontal, back, occipital, and all symptoms vary. And to differentiate between dementia and Alzheimer's at times is very difficult to do.
So how many participants come to these groups, like when you do it? Is it like every day? What's the cadence of this program?
We are there Tuesdays and Thursdays. We would like to be open more, but at this point, we have like 8. We are small. We are more of a cozy family-type atmosphere. Our max number is 10, and we try to provide one-to-one volunteers with, we call them friends. They are not clients. They are not patients because we are not a medical facility. They are our friends, and we try to provide one-to-one. That way we can judge how they are doing, such as when the lady was a painter. Well, when she started, she was great, but she systematically went downhill, and our volunteers that worked with her on a one-to-one basis could tell exactly where she was going.
So this program, I think I heard you mention earlier in the episode that this has only been around for 1.5 years.
1.5 years, yep.
Wow, that's a lot that it seems like you're accomplished in 1.5 years.
We are very proud of what we have accomplished. I mean, but it would not be possible without the occupational therapist, Robin, that we have. She is such a go-getter, and her mind is always coming up with things that are going to work with our clients because she's just on top of it. She's so good. And our volunteers, again, they come and they bring such love that these people all become family. There's no other way to describe it. They become family. We are that small a unit. We do not have a large space where I know I've been to several of the memory cafes where maybe there's 12 or 15 people sitting around tables and one volunteer. That one volunteer cannot possibly help all 12 because they're at different stages in their disease.
How do people find out about this program?
Not enough. Word of mouth. We, of course, work through the conference, the Lutheran conference, and they provide us with a place to start, I guess, would be how to do it, how to explain it. But word of mouth, because the people we have that have left have said, oh, I told my friend, I told my neighbor, I told Joe Smith on the road. I did.
I'm also going to assume that you have some community partners out there because, Lois, I think I found out about you from one of our community resources from Tracy.
Oh.
So I'm assuming that maybe there's some partnerships out there?
Partnerships, and that would be Tracy with the ADRC and Callie Keel, who is with the nutrition program. She helps us with the meals and making sure everything's what they should be getting. And the church offers us the space to have our center. We did qualify for several grants this year, which we have gotten, and we are basically funded by the grants and the money that comes in.
So Lois' name often carries a story. So my question is, because what I understand from different perspective, you talked about respite for the caregivers. So what's the story behind giving this name, and how you felt like, you need to give some relief to those caregivers who actually work with these patients or give 24 hours, of service to these, these patients, because my grandma was one of them. So it's very hard. So I really love the heart behind this name. So if you can just tell me more how your name came into existence and what's the story behind it and why dementia, why it was selected like that.
The person who started this came up with, and I'm not sure how he did it himself, but he came up with the name Living Spirit, and his theory was everyone is gifted with the gift of the living spirit of God. Whether they are losing that spirit with their dementia or you have the spirit that's working in you now, but that's where it came from, Living Spirit.
That's pretty awesome. Well, Lois, at this time, would you mind sharing a story with the Appleton Engaged listeners that'll help them understand the impact of the resource?
Sure. The first one I will tell you about is a woman who came to our facility. She was diagnosed with young Alzheimer's, and she was, I believe, 50, her husband said. And he had been taking care of her for 10 years, and he brought her to us, and he said that time that he was able to have on his own allowed him to do things that he just couldn't do or were much more difficult when she was with him. He also said it gave him a chance to recharge, and he had to find ways of dealing with her deterioration. And so getting away gave him time to think and cope. That's one. And the other one that I mentioned that was fairly recent was a gentleman came to us. He was with us for a short time, and he had been in an assisted living facility, and his wife brought him home. She wanted him brought home. And she came and told us, she said, you guys helped me do this. I was able to bring him home, take care of him, get the time off that I needed for myself. And he has since passed away from the dementia. And she came back to our facility and thanked us in person. She said, I couldn't have done it without you. And the feeling that gives a person is, I can't explain it. I cannot explain it.
One thing that I don't know if we have full understanding of is it's a lot of work to take care of someone who's going through dementia, right?
Correct.
And I'm sure somebody's thinking, why? What is part of the care that makes it so all-encompassing?
Well, the thinking process impaired by dementia is judgment. They can't consider the outcome of the consequences or risks. Reasoning, memory. They have even gotten to the point where they don't know their caregiver. Communication. We've had several people who start getting aphasic and cannot explain and cannot find the word they're looking for. Where we can miss a word, here and there, they just get very upset. We had a farmer with us one time, and he remembered that he used to farm and that he milked Holsteins, but he could not get out what he wanted to tell us about his Holsteins. And he felt so bad that it was just, for him, that was important, but he could not get us to understand that. And that goes along with the ability to filter emotional responses. There's sometimes common sense is just gone. Does that help at all?
I think it does. I think there's other things where, every once in a while you hear about somebody with dementia and they leave the house and we have to all look for them because they might not know where they're going and we don't know where they're at. And, you see those. I believe they're referred to as silver alerts.
Well, that and what we have found at our center is, you talk about laws and rules and governing and stuff. We cannot lock doors there. That's why we have one-to-one volunteers with the dementia person, because we have had runners. This fellow was 80-some years old, and he took off on us up the steps and down the road. And luckily, we had interns, college interns with us that could catch him and talk to him. And it's just, they disappear.
80 years old and he was gone.
And he was gone.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, my.
It took an 18-year-old to catch him, too.
So are there any upcoming opportunities, initiative, events that people can look forward to?
We are there on Tuesdays and Thursdays at this point, and we ask anybody who's interested, who wants to know what we're about, who wants to bring someone, just drop in, because we're there, and we would love to have you come and see what we're all about.
And that church you said you were located in and where are you located in that church?
We are located in the lower level of First English Lutheran Church, and that is across from City Park downtown. And the address is 326 East North Street.
Is there anything the community can do to be helpful?
Volunteer. Volunteer. We have several people who are snowbirds that are volunteers. So when they go away during the wintertime, their days are empty. We need to keep digging for more volunteers. And it doesn't matter whether it's a couple hours during the day or it could be the full 4 hours. But we definitely need volunteers. And I'd like to say that I know they will be tired when they go home, but they're going to feel good about what they have done.
So you basically answered my next question, that are there any volunteering opportunities? So yeah, I can hear. So how can they contact you? So who can people contact if they want to if they want to learn more, they want to learn more about the volunteering opportunities, or just want to connect?
Sure. Well, you can call the First English Lutheran Church at 733-2303, extension 310, or I will give you my personal cell phone number, which is 920-221-8826, and a message can be left on there also. We are on Facebook, and we also have email at respite, RESPITE, at felc.com, and the website is www.felc.com/living spirit.
Because you mentioned earlier in the episode that right now you make sure like that there's a one-on-one match. So there's for every person that's in the program, there is a volunteer to match up with them. Is there a waiting list at all for individuals, or you have enough volunteers currently for the amount of people who are in the program?
We can always use more volunteers because their life happens. You know, they have children, they have family obligations. We all get ill. We're human, and we'll take any amount of time they can give us because we do like the one-to-one contact.
Is there any other things that you would like to share with the Appleton Engaged listeners that maybe we didn't ask a question about?
Well, there is training involved with the volunteers, and we provide that. And that's, like I say, it's just a one-time thing, and they learn different tricks on how to handle certain behaviors and things of that nature.
Let me ask a question about the training,
Okay.
because that's a really good point, because I didn't even think of that, but that's such a relevant point that, if you're someone like myself who doesn't have a background or a strong background in how I might best serve these individuals who are in this program, what does that training look like, and how long does the training take?
Well, it's ongoing. Of course, we learn more every time, but it starts out with finding out about dementia and where they can go, where they can't go. And then we have speakers who come in and talk to us about behaviors and how to handle those behaviors. Because if you have to be in their world, you can't try and bring them into ours. And that's an ongoing process.
So now my next one would be sending shout out to all the wonderful people who work with your team.
The shout outs I would like to address are, first of all, is the man who started this a year and a half ago, Peter Peregrine. He got the ball rolling. He took all the training. He went to Alabama for the training to start the facility. And without his having done that, we would not be in existence. And the second person is Rachel Peterson, who is with the Respite for All Foundation. She got our funding going for us. She helped us write grants. And again, without her, we would not be in existence. And my other shout-outs belong to Robin. She's our activities director, and she comes with something new every day. She keeps the ball rolling, keeps everybody laughing, and just without it, it could not work. And our volunteers. We have the best volunteers ever. They come, they give, they love. They're tired when they leave, but they feel good about themselves when they do go home. And also a couple more, Tracy and Callie with the Outagamie County Nutrition Program, who help us with the meals. Without any of these people, we couldn't exist. We couldn't do it.
Well, Lois, at this time, on behalf of Appleton Engaged and its listeners, we just want to say thank you.
No, I want to say thank you, because it was great to be able to talk about our center, because we need to keep the word out there, because as our population ages, it's going to become more and more necessary for these caregivers to get the rest they need.
Facts. All right, Appleton Engaged listeners, at this time, we're going to start wrapping up this episode. I want to take a moment and say thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for giving us your minds and ears. Thank you for caring about another amazing resource in our area, helping to make our community a better, stronger community. I can't think of more important work than taking care of our seniors and those who are going through the challenges of Alzheimer's and dementia. So we appreciate you paying attention and learning about this valuable resource in our region. All right, at this time, you know what I'm going to say? Apple Engaged listeners, we are trying to become the #1 podcast in Northeast Wisconsin, and we can't do that without you. So as you listen to this episode and you're thinking, Timber, you should have asked a question about this, let us know. You're listening right now and you're saying, I would really like it if you would interview this particular resource. Let us know. Or if you're the resource out there thinking, I need to get on Appleton Engaged, guess what? You should let us know. And you can let us know by emailing us at belonging@appletonwi.gov. Once again, that is belonging@appletonwi.gov. Also, we become a stronger community when we're a more informed community. So we're firm believers here at Appleton Engaged that the more people who listen to this podcast and learn about all these amazing resources that we have in the region help to make us a stronger, more belonging community. So how do we do that? How do we get in front of more eyes and in more ears? It's called analytics. So while you're listening to this episode, take a moment. If you see a subscribe button, hit it. If you see 5 stars, give it to us. And if you see an opportunity to write us a review, please do it. These are all things that increase our analytics. And the better the analytics are, the more opportunities there are for our community members to learn about this amazing resource known as the Appleton Engaged podcast.
Thank you, Lois, for sharing all the insights and the wonderful work you do every day. Living Spirit is all about supporting both people living with dementia and the loved ones who care for them. It's a place where families can find relief, connection, and a sense of community. So do learn about them. And if you know someone suffering from dementia, just let them know they're not alone and you can connect them to the program and just be a part of it. So until next time, stay thoughtful, stay curious, and stay engaged. For listeners who might be wondering, can you share which communities or areas your center serves?
Our center serves the entire Fox River area. We even go as far as Wapaka County. We have a gentleman who brings his wife in from over there because he said there are no services over in that area for his wife. And we go as far as Winnebago County, Calumet County. We do not have anybody from Brown County right now. Basically, it's Outagamie and Winnebago, but there's no restrictions.